Hi guys, Mark from Mind Frontiers. I'm going to talk today about anxiety. Now I've got a Doctor Who t-shirt jump on which says keep calm and mind the blue box. Mind the madman in the blue box. So I want to do it a little bit differently than I normally do. I want to do it Marvel style. It's just a generic thing. So for those that are obsessed with fan culture, I like Marvel. My kids like Marvel. There are many different things. So I've been looking around, and we're going to talk about anxiety. Anxiety is fearing of the future. And a lot of the Marvel films, the characters do not know what's coming. So they could be anxious. So my little take on anxiety is that yes, our brain is overstimulated, and then we fear something that's going to happen. So we ask ourselves, what if? What if this happens? And we get anxious about it. Now asking yourself, what if not, is a good strategy. But I've been looking at some different quotes to see what some of the people in the Marvel characters actually do. So Scarlet Witch, she quotes, I can't control their fear, only my own. So let's bring that back and say, how can we control our own fear? So what can we do when we've got anxiety about the future? So again, anxiety is something that is going to happen in the future. Now we can do this and set this up so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm going to be anxious about going into meet the bad guy on Marvel because he might get me. Now Thanos clicked his fingers and we all know what happened there. But the anxiety is there. So how do we deal with it? How do we look at it and go, we need to do something? So Shuri from Black Panther says just because something works doesn't mean it can't be improved. Fantastic quote. But let's bring it back and show what's not working so that we can improve it. So if you're anxious about the future, well, what can you do about it? Again, what if and what if not? What if it doesn't happen? But what if it does happen? What plans and strategies will you put in? Now, when Marvel was and the heroes were fighting their characters, they had to put in plans of action. Sometimes these plans worked and sometimes they didn't. And then you have somebody like Iron Man saying, well, what am I even tripping for? Everything's going to work out perfectly. It'll only work out perfectly if you actually execute the plan. So you look back and go, okay, let's look at the things that we're going to plan. Let's try the plan out. But if the plan doesn't work, then we've got to change the plan. If the strategy's not working and you've not been able to take a few step backs and go, hang on, let's take a step back and let's look at it for the facts, which is what these guys have to do all the time. And then when you do make a mistake, because it's a learning experience, you think about the Black Widow who says, I don't judge people on their worst mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's what we do with those mistakes. Do we learn from those mistakes so that we keep repeating those mistakes? So I'm anxious, I'm anxious, I'm anxious, I'm anxious. And I keep doing the same things over and over and over again. Because if what you're doing is not working, you should change what you're doing. If you always do what you've always done, you're never going to get a different result. So let's take a step back, guys. And let's look at what these guys are doing. These may be films, and they're awesome films. But the quotes are still there. The meaning is still the same. So, and you think life takes more than it gives, but not today. Today it's given us something. It's given us a chance, and that was from Star-Lord. And today's your opportunity to start learning and becoming self-aware of your own thoughts and your own feelings. Taking a few steps back, looking for the facts, doing something different that you haven't done before. Because when you change, you're going to get a different result. Now it still might not be a very positive result, but you can bring back, you can reflect and go, okay, that's not worked for me. You could do something like, I'd rather stay on the ground for a little while. Somebody's got to look out for the little guy, right? Spider-Man. Well, he's talking about grounding. So look at grounding and mindfulness exercises so that you're in the present. Because when you're in the present moment, there is no anxiety. You could adopt the postures of these heroes when they're going, yeah, I feel good, I feel strong, I feel well inside myself. And you could concentrate on what their thoughts are, how they would react in certain situations. It's okay to have anxiety, but if you then work out a plan, you've not got any anxiety anymore. If you look at the facts and the facts don't match up what you're saying, then you haven't got any anxieties anymore. And therefore, when you do that, you can be like Thor. I choose to run towards my problems and not away from them, because that's what heroes do. Our thoughts and our emotions can cause us issues. But if we're always pushing them aside and never actually dealing with the facts and the true identity of those problems are always going to exist. So if you are like the hero and you tackle that problem then and there with the facts, with strategies and plans and grounding exercises and mindfulness exercises, so if this does happen, I can take a step back and I can have a few deep breaths. I can look at breathing exercises. I can look at tapping. I can look at EMDR. Many different exercises out there that work. Therefore, you put in a plan. I don't like going into town. There's too many people. We'll go into town. Obviously, we can't at the minute because of lockdown. But I go, I can go into town when it's quieter. I can go shopping when it's quieter. You are using a different strategy rather than the anxiety using you. Just like the guys from Marvel, they acknowledge it, they experience it, and then they look at ways around it so that they can tackle it. So this leads me on to, compromise where you can. Where you can't, don't even. If everyone is telling you that something is wrong, something is right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look at them in the eye and say, no, you move. So that was Sharon Carter from American Civil War, Captain America Civil War, quoting Peggy Carter. Now what does that message say? Well, let's look at the plans. Can you change the plans? It's also saying about if something is wrong, we're making judgments. If something is right, then something else has got to be wrong. And often that's a judgment on ourselves. So by grounding ourselves and looking at being in that present moment in time, even if the outside world is saying, this is what you've got to do, if you take time to sort yourself out and go, no, I just need to take a few minutes to actually look at these emotions, put a plan in case. Therefore, I've got a strategy. I'm going to look at actually taking a few breaths. I'm going to look at meditation. I'm going to look at relaxation. This is taking time for you guys. Now, all the heroes in Marvel, they've all gone through bad times in their lives. They've all gone through doubts where they haven't believed. They've all gone through times when they've probably been anxious. They don't know what's going to happen. What they've done is taken some time to actually look at themselves and go, actually, yeah, I've got to do this. Not just for my sake, but for my loved ones around me. And this is the same with you guys. When you start learning to become self-aware, some bits are going to be very difficult. And some bits are actually going to be, actually, I've done really well there. So you can give yourself a pat on the back. What we've got to do is, especially when it comes to anxiety, is look at the facts. When we look at the facts, often the facts are different from what we believe. And therefore you can start to challenge it. And when you start challenging the anxiety with facts, with evidence, with proof, it can become a new belief. Because it's our belief system that runs our programs. It's our belief system that runs our anxiety as an effect to the belief. And when we live our lives for our beliefs, and so I'm anxious, we look for evidence to prove our anxiety. Whereas if you're doing it this way, you're looking at evidence to unprove your anxiety, so that you could be a hero from Marvel, so that you can take power back. You can then use that power to overcome your anxiety. And each person has their own power, and great power comes with great responsibility. Well, what does that mean? Great responsibility is I take responsibility. So I am accountable for my own thoughts and my own feelings. And I can use my knowledge to actually go, actually, yeah, that's really good. I can overcome my obstacles. Because this is what these guys have done. They've looked at it, they've looked at the facts, they've strategized, they've grounded themselves, they've moved forward. So this is just a little video for you guys to help you on your journey. Because all journeys have an end. And that was Iron Man that said that. But it's the end is the destination. That's the bit that we want. That's the bit that's the exciting bit. But let's enjoy the journey on the process. Because that makes the end ever so much more achievable and much more gratifying when you actually achieve it. So if you want to go out and you're anxious, break it down. Put it in small steps. Do what the heroes from Marvel have done. Break it down, small tiny steps. Set up an action plan. Act out your action plan. See what happens with the action plan. And if it doesn't work, change what you're doing. Set up a new one. But each time you're looking for new facts. And new facts lead to new belief system. New belief system, no more anxiety. So, that was my little talk. Only tiny. If you want more information, you can feel free to message me. But that is important. If we act like heroes, so for example, I'm not sure if it's Marvel or not, but Superman breathing. So we stretch our arms up like Superman and we stretch our body. It changes our posture. If we change our posture and we change our process, so we change how we're doing things by doing things differently, we will get a different result. So anxiety can decrease. So what if this happens? Well, what if it doesn't? Start living your life in that sense. Look for the possibilities. And then look for facts to back them up. And strategize all your plans so that they're all broken down. And how will you achieve each plan? So really make it small. Tiny little steps. Can't become a great superhero unless you learn each step. Because if you jump in too fast, such as Superman did, he was like, he didn't have his memories. He didn't understand. He had to then reflect back before he could move it forward. Now, Superman might not be Marvel, but your other superheroes have done that too. You have to take a step back sometimes so that you can move forward. You have to analyse actually what went wrong, what was ineffective at that minute in time. Because unless you go, hang on, that really wasn't working, or is your anxiety actually working for you? Is it getting you love and attention from other people? I used to have anxiety all the time, and I got a lot of love and attention from it, and I didn't realise I got a lot of love and attention from it. But I can still get the love and attention, I just do it in a different way. So what we've got to do is start becoming self-aware. All these superheroes, they're all self-aware. They all go, but they've all got their own learning to do. And some learnings are not easy, some learnings are not effective, but some learnings take them where they want to be. They all spend time dealing with their own emotions, because we are all human beings, even the superheroes. Or even if they're not human beings and they're from another world, they still spend time dealing with human emotions, their own and other people's. So ask yourself, what messages am I sending out? What am I receiving? Am I being judged by other people? Or do I think I'm being judged? Chances are you probably won't know these people. So why are you letting those evil villains have the power over you, when actually you're the superhero? So give it a little twist round, guys. You guys are the superheroes. You guys are the awesome ones. So stop letting other people's judgments come in, because they're just an opinion, and look at the facts. If you start looking at the facts, that will counteract all those judgments, because you are wonderful as you are. So there we go, guys. That's that little one done. I will be doing one on perceptions and beliefs with Harry Potter. If you want me to do any more, give me a message. Drop me a link on my YouTube channel. Follow me on my Facebook page and Twitter handle, so that I can do more. And the more I research, the more I learn. So the more I learn, the more I can help other people. And I'm in it for helping people. So it's a win-win situation for me, you know. So you guys drop me a comment, you like and subscribe to my channel. I get the thumbs up, and I can help more people. So thank you very much, guys. You guys are awesome. And remember, you're all superheroes. Take care now. Bye.